Dear Fritz, ladies and gentlemen, first I would like to apologize for not attending the ceremony tonight. But in a few weeks' time I'll turn 95 years, and thus I have to avoid the physical strains of a long-distance flight. However, I'm very glad to have the opportunity to send a word of gratitude to my friend Fritz Stern. I first met Fritz in spring 1976 at a conference in memoriam of Ernst Reuter, a man whom both of us did highly respect. Later on, our personal contact did intensify, and eventually it evolved into friendship, and since then, every conversation with Fritz has been an unfailing source of wisdom and of inspiration to me. For both sides of the Atlantic, Fritz Stern's work is essential to understand the drama of German history in the 20th century. As he once has written, modern German history does offer lessons in both disaster and recovery. 2 times Germany had aspired greatness and dominance, and 2 times it led to devastation and horror. Fritz Stern has helped the Germans to grasp the singularity of crimes committed in particular against Jews and against the Polish people. At the same time, he sketched out a perspective to overcome Germany's political post-war isolation with a general acceptance of the past burdens and the adoption of Western democratic traditions as essential preconditions. On the eve of German reunification, he called upon the skeptical voices in Europe and the United States as well to take it as a reason of hope, not of fear. In his view, Germany had received the rare historical gift of a second chance. However, to promote a peaceful era of the continent, the country had to be firmly anchored into an integrated Europe. It had to meet its regained strength with the virtue of modesty and of restraint. Only in close cooperation with our neighbors, namely France and Poland in particular, only in our close cooperation Germany could be able to play a constructive role in Europe. After reunification, Fritz Stern also emphasized the necessity of intra-German reconciliation. Germany's internal divisiveness had already once in the 20th century prepared the ground for political and human disaster. He considered the way to treat Germans to be a test of the country's development towards democracy. Fritz Stern's work taught us that there is no inevitability in history, with the fragility of freedom as a simple but deep lesson. He thus regards civic engagement to be a moral and political imperative. An imperative he has more than accomplished in his own life. He has not withdrawn into the ivory tower of science, but he took on personal responsibility whenever that was necessary and possible. I'm especially thankful for his commitment as a member of the Senate of the Deutsche Nationalstiftung. On grounds of his brilliant scholarship, of his biographical background, and his personal integrity, Fritz is indeed an indispensable voice of freedom and a voice of peace as well. So I would like to conclude with words from Marion Dönhoff, our common dear friend. She once has written, "Fritz, we all owe you a lot."